Hi everybody, Judy here again. It's getting that time of summer when the sunflowers are out. There's so many different varieties of them. And I actually drew this with pencil on plastic paper over a year ago and never did it. And I thought, well, I'm going to bring it out and do a lesson with it. And I'm going to be doing this on Graphix paper, which is plastic, so that means, you guessed it, alcohol inks. I'm going to be using these pens that I showed you, and the really beautiful yellow of Pinata, bright yellow, for the rest of it. My idea in my head is that this is going to be the X zone. That means sort of it'll focus you in, it'll stand out. It's the main character, or we call it the X zone. And it's not centered in the middle of the composition, it's off to the side. So you can see a lot more flowers here. A lot more flowers, a lot more that we're going to be doing. But way over here, and if I was to quarter this, it would be in the upper quarter. Anyway, so I thought I would do a little demo with you on this with alcohol inks. And what I did to start is I went through my color swatches for all my pens, which is all made up ahead of time. I get days I have moods like that where I gotta get organized, and so I make these color swatches up. Now I don't know if that ink is faded over the years, so I will still do a test sample. I'm using one color here from a Sharpie marker. It was the best orange I could find. And then the yellow, like I said, is going to be this one here, the Pinata Bright Yellow. So I'm mixing it up, different pens, liquids, whatever's going to work. That's what I say, whatever's going to work. I took a little piece of plastic paper, and I'm going to test these out on a test sample to see if the colors have faded at all on this paper, because it's been in here for a few years. So I'm going to make a test sample, and that looks like a good orange, dark orange. And I have this is what it's telling me I should do. This is a paler green. They both have yellow in them. You'll notice orange has yellow in it, this green has yellow in it, this green has yellow in it. These are what you would call warm colors. Excuse me. Then I'm going to come in with the cool colors. This is number 70. Okay. Oh, these caps sometimes are so hard to get off. This is number 74. And these are actually cool blues. These are not warm blues. That's a nice balance, though. Okay. Okay, I think that's everything. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with the butterfly till the last minute. Because it is the X zone, I have a lot of latitude to play with that. So now let me go over here, and the orange is a Sharpie. Doesn't look like it's faded. Okay. And then 42 is right here. That's number 42. Looks like they're holding. And this one is number 47. And that's this one. Looks like it's holding. So those are accurate. That's good to know. Alrighty, so I can put my workbook away. And we can look on this. And even though this is not showing the full drawing, I'm just going to go ahead and start about here. And I think I'll do this. Actually, the background should be done first. And the reason I say that is I want to start out with a dark at the top, working into a lighter color, kind of like the way the sky is anyway. So let's start with that first. The boring part first. So on this, because I'm going to cover some area, I am going to use the broad point. Now, I'm not too worried about this. It looks pretty heavy, but you know, I've said to you that when you apply the alcohol to it, it tends to thin it out. So, and how I like to do this, and how I hope this will work out this way, is to take the lighter one at the bottom, because and all I'm doing is laying the color in, because I plan to blend this all together. Now today, I might play with a thing called blending solution. Not sure. I can get the results without this. Not really quite sure what role this plays. It says alcohol blending solution is specifically formulated to blend, lighten, and remove Tim Holtz alcohol inks. Well, we aren't using Tim Holtz, so I don't think we'll do that. I need a paintbrush. And I need to pour me a couple of well, at least 1 cup of, there's my dirty one. You can see it's slightly dirty. That was from the last one. That used to be the clean one. This is going to be the clean one. So, and by the way, I'm using 70% alcohol, not 99. There's a difference with the 99, but I haven't found I had to use it just yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my brush is clean from the last time I did alcohol inks. Do you always clean your equipment? Sometimes I forget to. So that looks like, yeah, it looks pretty clean. So I'll go in here and I'm going to start just moving this. I'm gonna move this down. Start up in the corner, and I'm just going to move this around. Kind of like smearing grease on the surface. And I want this to be a gradual thing. Gradually going from dark to light, so I just kind of have to wash it. There's a Levi's Stonewash. I remember that was a really favorite color for a while, and Levi's, remember that? Yeah, well, this is kind of what we're doing here. If I did 99, it would be too drastic of a reaction. I want more control. Of course, I'm a controlling person, especially when it comes to my personal life. Alrighty. Working. Just working those colors. Now I'm starting to work down into the other one. See if it makes a difference. You know, experimenting is, yeah, it's starting to change it. Might want to thin it out a little bit. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Okay. Now move this down. I can tell you what happened a year ago when I did this, because it was in August when I did it. I did it because I was inspired because all the sunflowers were out. Well, August, my family was trying to plan a trip for all of us to go over to the redwoods on the California coast so we could be together and see the redwoods for my sister's birthday. I have to say I was rather preoccupied because I was on alert to evacuate. The fires were so bad last year, and I had to cancel it. And I think this is why this never got painted, because I was a bit preoccupied at the time. My sister had to readjust her plans and fly in, so that meant she had to cancel a flight she paid for, so they had to rebook a whole new flight. They lost all that money, and I said, you're going to go without me because I just can't leave my home. And anyway, they went and they had a wonderful time, and they sent pictures, and they said they were sorry I wasn't there, and so on. And they got home, and I was still under evacuation warning, and everybody here was. So this never got painted. That's a long story to tell you why it didn't get painted, but things happen. All right. So here I am a year later, finishing up this project. Now, get all that done. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to wet this, and then I'm going to work into it, and I'm going to blend it back. Can you see that? You can't see that. See how I did that? I cleaned the brush in the dirty one. Then I went over to the clean one, loaded the brush up, laid the brush here, and started working from here, pushing the ink up in here to make it barely blend down in here. And because that's kind of how the sky is. And cleaning that up. Towel, you know, that helps. Clean it up. Go into the clean. Blend away. And see what a beautiful sky that makes? You know, that's just more workable, I think, in some cases than watercolors. I mean, you can scrub in watercolors, you can scrub out, but you never get it all out. And on this paper, you literally can get all the color out. Now you'll notice I'm going down with a very pale blue into the sunflowers. I don't want that to be too dominant. I just kind of blot too sometimes. There you go. When it doesn't want to work with you, then it smooths out. Look at that. It smooths out so nice. Almost looks like there might be clouds in the background there, huh? What do you think? I'll let that go for a while. Work this a bit. The wonderful thing is if the alcohol dries out, it doesn't matter the alcohol, it'll just come back. And the drier your brush gets, the creamier this gets, the more you can work it into a nice smooth blend. Now it's funny, I forgot to tell you that this is August again, and we're in fire season, and it's all very, very smoky outside. That's probably helped bring me in to do my art. Can't work in my garden. But starting this painting reminded me of what went on August of last year. Amazing. Now you'll notice I'm coming in, clean brush, working up this way. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the lines that I have in here are done with pencil. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Pencil does the best. You don't want to do pen and ink on this. Most, I found out quite by accident, that most of the black markers are made with alcohol ink. So if you do a black marker and you want to outline something in here, you do that last after everything is dry, because it will smear right along with the rest of it. We may or may not do that here. Sometimes a line or two is okay. And sometimes just leave it alone. Don't overwork it. I have close to 70 videos up now with free art lessons for you. Take advantage of it. You don't have to do Patreon or... I don't care anything about... let me know if you like it. Comment down below if you want to see me do something else. I can't read your mind, so be sure to add things to the comments below if you want to see some different things done. Nothing pornographic, of course. Yeah, they're just kind of blended in. Because I didn't want that ink to be distinct, especially around the butterfly. It's getting really thin. I have to put this up here where you can see it. Got to remember to move this. Okay. That's really a pale blue right now. I don't know if that's showing up or not, but the clean ink, the clean alcohol is getting kind of blue. It's funny. Oh, it's kind of fun to make clouds with this. Yeah, that's all I'm working on right now. The cloudy clouds. Now before I go into doing the flowers, I want the sky to be completely dry. And if there's any moisture, what'll happen is a bleeding into another color in the flower, like blue into yellow. And so patience is always a good idea. Yeah. So there's two things I can do here. I can take a hair dryer and I can speed this process up. Or I could just wait. Now if I'm smart, I will do this as part 1, August sunflowers, and then part 2 video, because I am going to have to wait. But right now I'm just kind of refining this sky, because I do want that butterfly to stand out. And so far I'm very, very happy with how this has turned out. when we start putting the yellow in, this blue will definitely pop out, even as sheer as it is. I'm borrowing ink up here, making a mess, but that's okay. I can always repair it. I just didn't want to do any more marks. I have very little to go here to fill this in. Let me get this over here where I am. I borrowed that from up here, brought it down here, and it looks a little dark, but don't worry about it, because you can always thin it out with more alcohol. And I definitely want to get this flower and the butterfly surrounded in blue of some sort. This is more of an intuitive media than any I've ever seen. I feel like I can work it easier than I can watercolors. It's amazing. And I'll go up there and repair that in a bit. Repairing is important to learn too. Now let's get over here. Okay. Trying to get this all filled in a little bit. I remember when I first started out with alcohol inks, I was intimidated by them. And so the only thing I did was splash them on the plastic paper and different papers and experiment with it until I built up my confidence. And in my mind, I was making it 9 times more difficult than it needed to be. We're so funny that way. We just are. Move that up. Always can tell when I am very pleased with myself because I go, uh-huh. Yeah. I might want to come all the way down with that blue. Yeah, I probably do. I'm going to go ahead and repair this right here. Yep. What do you think of that? You think that's good? I think that's good. And I'm going to carry that same paint that I picked up there down here. I'm going to continue with this. Right now I'm just dipping the brush with no pigment on it, and I think it should work thin down in this area, but I'll have to see. Well, am I down there? We can see it. Yep. You'll notice I kept the design pretty simple. I put in a very simple flowing design. I didn't stand my flowers all up in a straight line because things don't do that way in nature. They're just different. This is just, I'm going to take this palette that I did this on, and I'm going to put over here so I can make a little mess by itself over here in the corner, and make like ink I can pick up with alcohol to fill this in. So what I did was I did this, just made a mess with the marker, and then I'll go in here and I'll dip it in here, load my little brush up. Now it's going to come on kind of strong, gangbusters, so we'll do the gangbusters in a large area, like here and here and here. I'm just, if you're seeing me, I'm just splashing this color into these areas because I'm going to work it, by golly. I'm going to work it. See, just that, because I know if I come in and I try to be accurate, I'm going to start running into some major repair stuff, so I don't want to do that. That might even be a pale green back there. I'm going to wait and see. And this alcohol, if it dries, it doesn't matter because you reactivate it again with, guess what? Alcohol. So just working the sky is important because it is really going to help these flowers pop, especially when you do yellow and blue together. Very fine complementaries. I'm sure you know that. I have a video on the color wheel. It was the hardest thing for me to learn was color. And here I was this wonderful artist, whoop, 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 and my colors were horrible. And it killed all my art. So I took a watercolor class from a lady named Evelyn. She was with the local college here. And it finally sank in, the way she taught it, how to do color theory. And color is everything. Like line is everything, but color makes whatever you do pop. I'm just adding pure alcohol to this, these little swatches, and I'm smoothing it in, filling it in. I may end up doing something a little different here, I don't know. But I do want you to follow along with me on just doing the sky on this video. And then we'll come back and do a second video. It'll be right up next to this video. And you can follow Sunflowers in August Part 1, Sunflowers in August Part 2. There might be a Part 3, who knows? Depends on how this all lays out. But I definitely want the sky to dry before There we go. I'm going to add a little bit more. Now it's funny, if you try to put ink on the paper and it's already got alcohol on it, the ink won't come out of the pen. That's so funny. So I'm back over here again on this side. I'm dolloping in color here. You wouldn't do this with watercolors, I don't think. At least I wouldn't. Now we're going to go up here. I just got to put some more on here. Okay. You know, if you look up in the sky on a summer's day, especially in the fall, you'll notice that the sky is one of the prettiest blues it ever is all year long. But it's very dark higher up you look, and it's very light down towards the ground because there's some atmospheric things going on that are kind of hazing. Oh, this one I didn't put the pencil line in. Whoops. But at least I caught it. It's alright. Make it an interesting painting. I'm always forgetting lines. It's amazing. Don't know how I do that. Now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to finish that up. The clean alcohol by now has turned blue, but that's okay because I'm only working with one color. I just don't want to muddy it with the dirty alcohol. They're both dirty. What am I talking about at this point? My stomach's going again. Well, that's good. Got a spaghetti dinner planned for tonight for some friends. I think I'm anticipating it. I spent yesterday sauteing each of the in the sauce, the individual ingredients. Like the mushrooms were sauteed separately, the onions were sauteed separately, the fresh garlic, minced garlic, was sauteed separately, and then I did the mushrooms. I think I said that. And then once they were all separate, I combined them, threw in a can of stewed tomatoes, and then one was spaghetti sauce. I never buy the paste. I don't know why people buy the paste. I also always keep V8 in my house. It is a combination of vegetables. It has celery in it, which lends a really interesting taste to any kind of soups or anything like that. So I kind of use that if I'm going to have a tomato-based soup or sauce. But I add all the other ingredients too. I don't rely totally on V8. If you can't afford V8, things are getting expensive these days. There's hybrid versions. How are we doing here? Get off into cooking, I'll forget about painting. Okay. So I'm going to look at this all over. I think that could use a little thinning out there. In the eyes, I'm looking for eyesores right now. Things that bother me. There we go. That's good. That's good. I see places that look weak. I'll add a little bit more pigment there. I just use the sky for a backdrop. I don't think it should compete with... Is that there? No, not there. Okay. I don't think it should compete with the subject. The subject here is going to be the sunflowers. The X zone is going to be that guy right there. And he's going to be fun because I've got to figure out what I want to do different with him. He has to stand out. And maybe not even be any of the colors that I'm using here. Okay. Alrighty. So there you have it, as far as I know. I've got all the blue, I'm not sure. Down here, I started to put blue in, and I think I'm going to wash that out, because I think this needs sort of suggest flora and fauna in the background with a pale green. So I'm going to wipe that off, and what I do is I dip this paper towel in here, and I just do a circular motion. The pencil lines won't come off, so you don't have to worry about that. But I'm going to clean that up because I think I have other plans for this. And I'm going to go down here too. I put some down in here. And I'm going to get rid of that too a little bit. Not totally, but a little bit. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to turn that blue, dirty alcohol back into the other dirty, clean thing and give this fresh alcohol. And I'm going to finish up with this sort of background, foreground thing with the greens. Pale, pale green, which is, I think it's 47. Yes, 47. 47. Okay. So, I'm going to do the same thing down there that I did on the sky. So I'm just going to leave bars of color here. See that? Come on. Too many things interfering here. Okay, so I'm going to put more in here. Okay. I think you're getting the idea. All right. Cap it. Beep. Put it there. Put the fresh, I need fresh alcohol. 70 proof. Don't drink it. One of my things I said sip and paint, and I meant alcohol, not rubbing alcohol. Okay, so my paintbrush has got to be super clean. I don't want any blue in that, so I just cleaned it in the cleaning alcohol, and my brush is clean. And if I'm wondering if it's clean, I'll stick it in the fresh, and I'll run it over the sample paper, and it's clean. Okay, so that's good. Now, I am going to start well, that's interesting. That doesn't quite break down the same as the other, does it? You have to work it a little bit harder. That's interesting. So what that tells me is there is something else in this pigment than there is in the blue, because once this sits on the paper, it does not move very well. Well, live and learn. You see that? That's just not moving, is it? Use a little stronger alcohol and see if this, I'm going to put the 99 on there. and see if that'll move it better. Might require that. Actually, it does. That is very interesting. So now we're learning that certain pigments prefer 99. So I'm going to pour this back in the 70 and get the 99 out. Interesting. That's probably what blending fluid is about. Though they will tell you that it's only for a certain product. And I don't know, I'm thinking blending fluid's 99% alcohol. Ah, that's funny. Now, because I'm only working with one color, I'm not going to worry about dirtying this. Because all I'm concerned about is getting those lines out of there. Don't like that at all. Because that was not what I was planning on doing. There we go. The 99 does it. You got a hunch, go with it. That's called trusting your gut. Here's one that's a little stubborn. Let's see what we can do here. There it goes. Good. It's interesting. So there's something in the green that is not in the blue. We learned that one together, didn't we? Yeah, that's what I want. Just a suggestion of green. And I think what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to pull some of this color here, and then draw off of that with a 90% and see where it goes. Because I definitely want... Oh yeah, that's much better. Yeah, that's much better. You can see that. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in this corner, and I want to get those strokes out of there. Come on, little baby. There we go. I don't want any of those strokes in there. Good. Now, I've had these sitting a while. Let's hope they will move. Looks like they're going to. Beautiful. So remember, if it's stubborn, get that 90 out. That's actually what it is. It is 99% alcohol. Sometimes that's hard to get, especially when the pandemic, everybody was buying that stuff. Oh, we don't want to die. So everybody ran out and bought it. I had to go to a garden shop to buy a gallon of it, which I didn't even know was available. And only a pot grower would know that. But I lucked out. We do grow pot up here. I don't know, is there any place in the earth that doesn't have pot? Doubt it. Okay. Gonna make this a little more extreme than it is. And there we have it. And I may come in later. This is the deal. I'm guessing at the intensity of the color here. When you start laying in the color for the flowers and the stems, which will be a darker green, that's going to affect it. I may have to come in and even lay it in thicker. I do not know. It is an unknown. Doing art is experimental. You don't know. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave this right here where we are today and make this part 1 of August sunflowers. Thank you for your patience with me. Hope I didn't leave you out of too much of the painting. And hope to see you back here for the second one. But get this far, you'll be doing great. Take care. See you later.